Lady, I need some files off of my computer so I can bill customers. Get them for me. Me, I would be happy to do that, but the PC is offline. Lady, I know that. There was a big fire and there's no internet or power. It won't be back up for weeks. Me, are the files you need backed up, stored in the cloud? Lady, no. They are only on my computer. Get them for me. I know you can get into it, you all have done it before. Me, unfortunately, I cannot access a PC that is not on and not connected to the internet. Lady, yes you can. They've done it before. Me, not possible. Lady, I find that hard to believe. What kind of terrible system would operate that way? Me, all of them. You can ship the PC to me and I will access the files, or I can send a tech today to pull the hard drive if the building is deemed safe. Lady, no. Just do it from there. Me, over this conversation, can't. Lady, well I guess I will have to handwrite everything. What a terrible system. Me, okay, let me know if you change your mind. Bye. Shortly thereafter, I got an email from another department telling me this lady has been calling everyone to find the magical person who can remote into her machine located in a building with no internet or power. They're out there somewhere, she just knows it. This happened yesterday. Just want to showcase that sometimes we can really impact people in a positive way and it isn't all restarts and plugins. I was working with a lady, troubleshooting Citrix Desktop on a personal computer while at home. I was a little hamstringed going into things because our workplace tends to use company computers that I can always remote into, ping, troubleshoot much more accurately. But we also dig the whole work from anywhere with any device model. That said, I did my best and we eventually got her squared away. Toward the end of our conversation she mentioned that I sounded like her son and asked for my age. I told her that I'm 24 and she paused for a moment, apologized, and said that he was 25 and passed away last year due to aggressive leukemia. He was her personal at-home IT guy, moreover he was her son. She felt like, for one last time, he was helping her figure things out and talking her through the steps. Afterward I cried and texted my mom that I love her. Hold your loved ones close, life is fast and brutal. And the next time you auto and just remember you may just make someone's day. Best. On the bottom floor of my building, there is a storeroom with a number padlock on its door. It has large oval-shaped buttons, with a line between the two numbers, so the buttons look like this. 1 vertical bar 2 backslash underscore backslash underscore backslash underscore backslash underscore 3 vertical bar 4 backslash underscore backslash underscore backslash underscore 5 vertical bar 6. 7 vertical bar 8 backslash underscore enter backslash underscore 9 vertical bar 0. It has only been installed fairly recently in the past year, to be exact. The amount of times I have been called down from my office 3 floors up, just to open it for someone, despite them having been given the pin, is too damn high. Here are some highlights of the conversations I have had with people who have called me because the lock's broken. 1. And #X200B. Lady, they installed the pad wrong. Me, what? L, the text I got said the code is 3232, but there's no 32. There's only 12 and 34. Me, it's not 3232. It's 3232. L, well there's none of that either. I proceeded to have to go down and physically show her how it worked. Twice. L, well that's stupid. It's unnecessarily confusing. I'm going to submit a complaint. Me, you do that. 2. Man, hey the pad's broken or something. The code doesn't work. Me, here we fucking go. Did you input all 4 numbers and then press the enter key afterwards? Man, yes. I'm not stupid you know. Me, I really doubt that. Try it one more time while on the phone with me. I'd rather not go down if I don't have to. The pad lets out a very loud beep whenever a button is pressed. As a result, I could hear his next attempt, if you could call it that, quite clearly. Beep. Beep. Backslash long pause backslash. Beep. Backslash angry door rattling backslash. Man, It still won't open. I'm telling you, the damn thing's broken. Me, size / I'll come down. And #X200B. I hate people. Edit. After many comments all agreeing on the same thing, I've made a decision. The next time that management comes to complain about people leaving the door unlocked, I'm going to tell them that it's a terribly designed lock, and they should get a better one if they don't want people finding their own solutions to the problem. Edit 2. I have completed my final shift for this week. As of this evening, it is officially broken, courtesy of a pissed-off user while I was off-site dealing with other problems. Apparently there was a wiring issue in it to begin with, which was why people could press the middle of the button and it would read it as being the correct number despite them not actually pressing the correct half of the button. Management has mixed feelings about this, because on one hand it is therefore under warranty, on the other, they now have a lot of pissed-off employees saying I told you so. They have ignored my requests to please, for the love of God, not replace it with an identical lock of the same make and model. They have also denied my requests to A. Make a sign. B. Tell users that the password is 4 two-digit numbers instead of the actual 4-digit PIN, which, after the wiring revelation, was the only denial that made sense to me. C. Change the PIN to something that didn't use both halves of a button. D. Wire up the new lock to the automated door system so I can just unlock it from my office. I am so glad that this next week is not my problem. Not as glad as I am to be leaving this building and all of its dumbass management in a couple months, but still pretty happy nonetheless. I think management might just be getting a kick out of watching me suffer at this point, honestly. Just a short memory I remembered in a cold sweat, but it still baffles me. We had a semi-large office, but for the most part it was always full, and the only people who would work from home occasionally was me and a couple of managers. Now one day we tell an employee to work from home for a bit and they were given an explanation of how to remote in from home from their laptop with a secure connection. They just nodded their heads and agreed. That night while I'm home I go to push updates to every machine in the office when I see that one machine in particular was not updating. I tried to remote into it and nothing, nada. So I lift myself up with a groan and physically go to the office thinking the PSU died or something. No. The entire setup was gone. The next day I called the employee and asked what happened. They told me they took everything home in order to connect to the office. Is quitting still an option? Posting here for the first time in a while, mostly because I want to tell this story. And #X200B. Background: a certain large healthcare company, dollar vendor, offered to migrate us from our on-prem deployment of their software to their environment for a reasonable rate. We agreed because the on-prem server was getting close to retirement, and we were going to migrate them to either a VM or an AWS server soon anyway. There's been no issues with the software or the database itself, and I'm actually quite happy with how it turned out. And #X200B. Main story. And #X200B. Where the problem was with our interface. See, we have a single practice management software, $PM, that ties together our large, multi-specialty practice and the various EHRs our doctors use to keep their records. The idea is that the $PM is the primary patient database and the EHRs pull data and schedules from it via standard HL7 interfaces. For those not familiar with them, in HL7 interfaces messages usually take one of two forms: a text file created by one system and read by another, or a message sent by one system to an IP address and port, where another system reads it. Pretty simple, and it's what connects the world of healthcare tech. And #X200B. While dollar vendor was hosted on-prem, a file-based interface was pretty easy to accomplish. $PM sends files to a folder on a file server, and dollar vendor reads them from there. With a server that's not hosted on-site, dollar vendor's people decided that the best thing to do would be to build a VPN tunnel and push the HL7 data to their server via that. Now, we've built out interfaces with outside partners before, primarily to accomplish getting data to and from the labs that test our specimens for us. I've run these projects not once, but half a dozen times in the last 2 years. We tend to do this by sending the message files to our SFTP server and having the other party read them from there via SFTP. It's efficient, HIPAA compliant, And I haven't had a single complaint about it in the 7 years we've been doing this. And #X200B. But no. Vendor insisted. They fought tooth and nail to get it set up via VPN because to them, that's the easiest way to get an interface up and running. So the $PM rep and I decided to try it despite our misgivings. We got a network engineer to set up a site-to-site VPN tunnel on our firewall, tested it to make sure we could connect to Vendor's server, a process that took almost a week due to difficulties getting the Vendor to communicate with the network engineer, and went ahead with the migration as planned. We then spent the next 2 days troubleshooting the HL7 interface because despite messages going out from our end, the Vendor wasn't receiving them. After 2 days of back and forth, with Vendor's people insisting everything was good on their end, despite us being able to ping their server's IP, telnet their port, and even packet tracing to make sure the HL7 messages were actually leaving our server, I ended up receiving a message from their lead that basically amounted to "Actually, we don't know what's wrong and want to do this via SFTP. Well, lottie frickin' 20 minutes later, I have the SFTP configured for them and our $PM has set about reconfiguring the interface to actually do its job. And #X200B. TL, Doctor, vendor wants things done their way. Clients knows a way that works for them. Turns out, the client's right.